Hi friends, welcome to Zoom and Zoomies, the show where two lesbians, three cats, and a dog walk into a camper. I feel like I'm starting a bar joke every single time I give that. I don't know what the end of the joke is. You'll have to stick around with enough episodes for us to find out.
We'll figure out the punchline.
Yeah, exactly. But we decided that living in a full-time camper would be a great idea. And this show, we're sharing real behind-the-scene stories of remote work, road trips, camper life, all the chaos that comes along with having all of those animals, and our sort of tagline, trading square footage for freedom. Still feeling out if I like that or not, but I'm Britt, and I have been traveling and working remotely since long before it was cool, and I love to go different places and do different things, but I also love bringing my needy little animals with me, and I've been obsessed with productivity as well, so not only just getting work done from the road, but just getting work done as efficiently as possible ever since I saw the original Cheaper by the Dozen and saw the kids trying to time if it was faster to button your shirt from the bottom to the top or the top down.
I don't remember that scene.
Oh, it's not in the Steve Martin Cheaper by the Dozen. It's the old Cheaper by the Dozen. I'll include a link to it somewhere, but it's
oh, so you're old.
Yeah, exactly. It was not the common one everyone else has seen.
So real quick question. You mentioned that you miss bring your needy pets with you. What about your needy girlfriend?
Well, absolutely, but I can bring you on a plane and all of the places I go a lot easier than my pets. So this is my needy girlfriend.
Hi, I'm V. I've actually not traveled as much as Brittany. In fact, I think I started to travel more once we started dating and everything. I was born and I lived my entire life in Louisiana. I'm a licensed attorney here, which will be interesting whenever we hit the road and we're trying to do remote work and everything. So this will be as much of a journey for me as it is for you, the viewers.
Yeah, so each week we're just going to hop on here and bring you some stories, tips and tricks, probably a few freakouts as we figure things out. And the way this show is going to work is that we're going to commit to a season. We'll do 10 episodes. I'm not going to say we're going to do this forever. We're going to do 10 episodes on kind of getting started with this, what that's like. We're not on the road yet. We will be soon. What's it like getting ready for that and starting that process and doing that. And we're going to see if people actually like this. And maybe people do, and we'll keep doing it. But if they don't, I don't know, we can talk to ourselves with much less fuss.
I worry that, or not worry, but there's a concern that we're the cautionary tale and people watch us be like, we can't do that.
Maybe, and whatever, that's fine, as long as there's people getting some benefit from it. So if you like this, please leave a review, drop a comment, send us an email. We've got a whole zoomandZoomies@gmail.com email address, so you can drop a note there. But let us know, because that will determine if we keep this party going. So in each episode, we'll have a couple exciting mini segments that you're going to learn more about, but we'll also have a main topic that we're discussing. And today we're going to talk about choosing the camper life and why we chose that. But first, before we actually do that, I want to call out all of our audio gear right now is in the camper. I have microphones and all sorts of things that are actually in the camper. We are not quite in that yet. So apologies for this audio and maybe next week's, but it's going to be better moving forward after that. Like I said, it's just over our moving process, which we can get more into. Some stuff's in the camper, and some is not with us where we've been living this summer. So anyways, more on that. But for now, let's actually introduce our first segment. Are we ready?
I think we are.
I think we are. Okay. So our first segment, we're going to call TikTok Didn't Tell Us. And it's because there's so many Instagrams and TikToks and so many content creators all
YouTube,
about, everywhere.
Instagram.
All about how to, do this camper sort of stuff. And there's some pretty good content out there. I mean, I follow a lot of them. I don't know how many you follow. You probably follow the ones with the cute animals and stuff.
Always.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm there for the animals.
I mean, that's the important part for sure. But, I get tips from the others. But I find that there's definitely still some stuff I'm learning that definitely isn't romanticized on TikTok or just hasn't been talked about. So, yeah, I think today's, for this segment, one of the things that I want to talk about is TikTok didn't tell us that extended warranties are a mess, and I don't even know if they're worth it. Long story short, we've been having some work done on the camper, and when I bought the camper, I got an extended warranty with it because I was like, yeah, I don't want to have to worry about if this thing breaks or not, and it's, a whole thing. I want the warranty to cover it.
Which is fair.
It makes sense, right? And I mean, when asked what it covers, the answer I was told was everything. and I have never gotten formal documentation of what exactly everything is. And TLDR, that's been really annoying right now as we're trying to get those seals replaced.
And the lawyer in me was a little upset that we didn't have anything, inked on paper that what was covered, what was not. So we were going in blind almost every time.
Yeah, so we're going to be working on that. But basically, if you get an extended warranty, figure out, get in writing what exactly isn't covered before you get it. And don't wait for when you're at the dealership buying it and they're asking you 47,000 other questions, because you're not going to care in that moment. So yeah, V, do you have something TikTok didn't tell you?
I have a couple of things that TikTok didn't tell us. My number one thing is, you think that buying a brand new camper versus like a used one would be better and less of a headache. That is not true.
Oh my gosh.
Things have broken or have fallen apart, and we've had to bring it more times than I would have thought for a brand new camper to get fixed. And you know what? The extended warranty, we'll call it out that it was good for the most part.
That wasn't even the extended warranty. That was the manufacturer warranty
Never
from
mind.
Keystone, because we bought it brand new. I'll shout out to Camping World, who's been great at handling the manufacturer warranty, working through all that. Like, Camping World in Bro Bridge has been amazing. Cannot recommend them more.
I will say it kind of helps that the main guy that was helping us fell in love with our dog Levi.
That's true.
And so we knew to get service very quickly, we had to bring Levi every time.
Yeah.
In fact, if you don't mind a quick story time, we went there with our camper and with Levi, and we went to the desk, and we're like, hey, we're here to see this person. And so she radios him, and then we had to tell her, like, make sure you tell him that Levi is there. And she was like, they also wanted you to know that Levi's here, and we could hear on the radio, that is very important information to know.
Yeah, yes. Levi makes the difference there. So yeah, shout out to Camping World. But
and I have one more thing about TikTok not warning you as a partner or as someone who's not. She's the main driver. She's the main person for the.
Hey, hang on real quick. Am I the main driver or am I the only driver?
I am a passenger princess, and I am okay with that title. I wear that tiara proudly.
She does, and it's fine.
Well, what I meant was, like, you're the main handyman because you know what to do versus I have no idea.
It's true.
But the thing is, watching her being so very stressed, you kind of get scared whenever you find a random screw that you don't know where it came from, how long it's been there, and what it needs to be put in, if it needs it. It got to a point where she was stressed out almost every day, our first couple weeks with the camper, that I would just kind of collect the screws, make a note of where I left them, and when she was in a calmer mood, I would be like, hey, by the way, I found these, one was here, one was there, I don't know where they're to.
And that's when I realized, yeah, it actually does stress me out a little bit sometimes. But
And
I'd rather know. But
I am sorry.
No, it's fine. We've learned to kind of time the right moments, and we figured out. And I'm better at being like, oh, this will make itself known at the right time, and I'm just not going to stress over it now.
It's not that often I hide it from you.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Let's move on to segment number 2 we have. I'm super excited for this one. We're calling this our Zoomies Tip Jar. And if you want to give us tips, that's awesome. Monetary, we'll figure out some way to accept that. But we're giving you tips. We are spinning this around. This is our tip jar to you. So I want to tell you about a tip that we have discovered. And I'm super excited for this. If you're listening to the episode, head over to YouTube and you can get a visual of what I'm talking about, or you can look for a link in the show notes. I'll include it. But we just got this new K-cup holder. And it's actually, like, really handy. We'll see how well it sticks, because that's going to be my number one question. But I hate trying to, like, drill holes in the camper walls if I can help it, or cabinets or anything.
And, I mean, that's why command strips are the way
Exactly.
to go.
And we've had some really good luck with command strips in the camper. And so this uses command strips to basically stick to the bottom of your cupboard, and you can raise and lower it to access your K-cups. So speaking of all of the coffee that we need to drink, I have high hopes for this. I'll be reporting back on if it works really well, in the sense of, does it actually stay put, or when we get somewhere, do we have 18 K-cups on the floor? I don't know. It could be part of the adventure, like a little Easter egg hunt, because there's not enough to worry about when you arrive somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea is to, like, save counter space. So
yeah,
that's the hope and the dream. So we'll be excited to report back on that.
Exactly. All right, so let's move into our main topic now. Today we're here to talk about, why are we embarking on this adventure? And as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, we haven't actually started it yet. From the time of recording, we've got about another week, just under, before we actually head out on the road. Mm-hmm. and we're super excited about it. Everything is fully in motion, and we've got campground we're booked to go to. We've got road trip planned and routed out. We've got picking up the camper from Camping World all scheduled and everything. So
we already shipped a good bit of our furniture, or like all the big stuff to where we're gonna base ourselves.
Exactly. We've got like storage set up and everything. So we've been planning this for years. Literally, I was thinking about this as I was writing out the notes for the podcast, and I was like, this has literally been in motion years. Like, we thought about this before we even bought our camper, and we've now had our camper a year and a half. But when we were buying our camper, we kind of were like, okay, we'll probably start out part-time and just make sure we like it, but we would like to get to a point of doing it full-time at some point. And I think we both have kind of agreed we maybe have different timelines on how long full-time would work. Like, I think you're like, a year and a half would be great for me.
I think to start off, like, I don't want to feel like we're committed to it for for 5 years or something.
Yeah, I agree.
I would like to. I mean, obviously, we're going to check in, like, if not weekly, monthly, and things like that. But I also get motion sickness, so that's like a big part of it. But but no, I think it's just a good idea just to make sure that we don't feel like we're on a strict timeline for a set amount of years.
Right.
Just to like kind of check in and be like, okay, what's working, what's not? Do we think we'll be happy continuing this, or should we just, figure out where we're planning our routes?
Exactly. And so, but yeah, because of that, there's been a lot of plans and preparation that's gone into it, and kind of, I think the drive, no pun intended, the drive behind it, for me at least, is that I love to travel. I love going places and seeing new things, and I hate leaving behind my pets. It just breaks my heart, and like, I hate when I have to leave behind V too, but I
also hate being left behind.
I can bring her a lot of places with me that I can't bring 3 cats and a dog, and so the idea of being able to travel with them is really awesome. And another aspect I like about it is Casey Musgraves has this song called My House, that one of the things she talks about, it's all about like RVs and campers, and it just really like spoke to me, because it's like, I'll bring my house to you. And I love the idea of just being able to travel and go see my people and like bring my house to them. Like, I don't have to worry about, did I pack this or that? Do my animals have what they need? Am I inconveniencing them by staying in their house? Like, I can come to them and spend time with them and still be, self-sufficient in that way. But
I think it also helps to feel like you have your own space, even though you're traveling, to like kind of go back to, be like, it's great to see people, but sometimes you're like, all right, I want to be like in my environment. So it's kind of helpful to quite literally bring your environment to where you're going.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. That's, I think, absolutely my favorite about it. When somebody, I remember when I mentioned all of this, asked me, they were like, wouldn't it be like cheaper to just, if you want to travel around all that much in digital nomad, like, wouldn't it be cheaper to just get Airbnbs everywhere? And I was like, probably, but then I have to like pack and unpack every time I go somewhere.
And what if you're in an Airbnb that you don't like?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's 100% a possibility.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I guess the pro to that is you wouldn't live in it long enough to move on to the next. But like with having a camper, I can customize it and change the things I don't like, and just, make it work and continuously improve it. And it becomes even more homey the more time I spend in it.
I mean, still, the idea of an Airbnb, it's not your own space.
Right.
You're renting it for X amount of time. Whereas the RV, like the camper or the RV, it is our space.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of space, there's not a lot of it. I'll include some pictures, and make sure you're following us on Instagram, because we're sharing lots of content over there. But just so you can kind of visualize the camper we're talking about, it's not a camper van. I feel like a lot of that is a big misconception. People are like, oh my gosh, the little lesbians moving into a camper van. That is a stereotype, but that is not us. It is a 35-foot fifth wheel camper, which means we pull it behind. It's not one of those like motorhomes that you drive. I have a truck that I am pulling it with, and it's 35 feet. It has a bedroom that fully closes off. It's like its own separate room. Has a bathroom, again, fully functioning toilet, shower. We have a kitchen, stove, fridge, pantry.
Pull-out couch.
Yeah, we even have like a king-size fold-out bed, like in our living room. We have a guest room. And so we have space for our desks. We have another couch that's not even a pull-out couch. So
kind of like our recliners.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like people maybe are starting to listen to this and envisioning like van life. This is big van life, we'll say. Extremely big van life. But, oh yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, also remember, we have a dog and 3 cats.
Yeah.
We could not do that in a van.
At one point I thought I was a camper van person. I think that could maybe work for very short bursts, but not with the Zoom and Zoomies crew, and definitely not for full time for me at least. So one of the things that it is spacious, but it's also a lot less space than our 3-bedroom condo we're used to living in. And so I actually think that that's kind of been something maybe a little different for you than me. I've enjoyed the idea of downsizing and having to consolidate all of our things to say, oh, the things that are important to me fit in this space. Like, I have less things I have to own and maintain and less clutter. I've loved that. I don't know if that's been your experience.
So, I mean, the biggest difference between us is you are, and I make this joke all the time, Brittany is a minimalist and V is a maximalist. As in, I collect vinyl records, I collect old vintage books, I have 2 typewriters. That's not conducive, I feel, for a nomadic life. So I've had to figure out what's important to me and what not, and figure out what can go to storage and whatnot, because I'm very particular about how my things are stored. So I wouldn't say it's like, no, it hasn't been my favorite, but it hasn't been like the make or break for me. Like, it's not stressing me out to like, I can't do this.
Yeah, and I think we're like really thankful to be living, like, at least we're one of the places we're basing ourselves is not far from like family, so we'll be able to like leave some things there as well, like your records, for instance. Like, it'll be nice that like yes, they won't be in the camper, but like you won't be far away from being able to like enjoy them.
For all my vinyl and record nerds, y'all know that the way you store them, it matters. They cannot be in direct heat because they get warped. And then if you're going to play records, you can't do that in an RV. So shout out to your sister Shannon and her husband Jeremy for agreeing to be the custodians of my record collection.
Yes, yeah, that's going to be a great, because we knew, it wasn't going to work great in the camper. Didn't know how transporting would work, and also knew it wasn't going to work in a storage unit either.
I should also give credit to Brittany, because she really tried to make it work, because she knows that music and my record collection is very important to me. And I was just like, no, it's okay. I will be fine with just streaming my music when we're on the road.
I can sing for you too. I don't know if that would help things.
I mean, if you knew the lyrics.
That's true. I don't know most songs. I learn a new song every week that is brand new to me and just kind of like came out in the 90s or something.
And when you sing it, you'll often get it wrong.
That's true. I don't know the lyrics, but I project what my brain thinks they are confidently.
And it's fine. She has a great voice, and I enjoy to hear her singing. But sometimes, you want to hear the song as it was intended to be played.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. So, yeah, one last thing I kind of wanted to say about why I think I'm excited about this and, like, what's driving why I want to do this. It's been really fun driving around, like, part-time as we've done, like, little trips thus far, and just being able to see different people. And I'll never forget one specific time I was at a gas station and I was like, had the truck, had the camper, everything's in the car, all the animals are just looking out the window, and like this one lady is like pulling around, she's like, oh my gosh, do you drive this, do you do that? And I was like, yeah, and she was like, how do you do that? And I was like, I mean, I work remotely, so I've got internet, and I just, work from different places and just, drive around. She's like, is it scary to drive? And I was like, it was a little bit at first, but I got used to it. She's like, I could never do that. And I was like, oh my gosh, ma'am, you completely could do that. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And like, I think that's part of what's kind of motivated me, not even just to do this lifestyle, but to kind of like talk about it a little bit more and like make some of this content, because I think there's a billion people making content in the world, but I want people to see that like anyone can do it. You don't have to be some like, I don't know, like blue collar guy who grew up around campers all your life and did everything to be able to figure this out.
Or like completely live like off the grid without like internet or things like that.
Yeah, you don't have to necessarily give up your job. It doesn't mean you have to be poor. It also doesn't mean like it's easy by any means. We've been already talking about this has taken years for us to like prep for and practice and like get everything in shape for. And obviously there's going to be literal and figurative bumps in the road figuring it out. But yeah, I don't know. I just want to inspire and help other people who want to do things like this because they see the appeal, they see the freedom behind it, and just being able to kind of chart their life. Like, yeah, I want to show if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah, and I also want to call this out. Brittany is like under 5'3".
Oh yeah, super short.
Driving a huge truck, hauling a camper. I think that's what shocks people the most whenever we fuel up or we park somewhere and you quite literally hop out of the truck. So
yeah.
But, like, again, if we can do it, because I'm also under, like, 5'3", so if we can do it, literally anybody else can. We are not tall people.
We are not tall people.
But I want to talk a little bit about why I'm really excited to do it. I've mentioned this before, I've never really traveled much. It wasn't until Brittany and I got together that I started traveling more, not just, around the country, but also to different countries and everything, and it's been great. So I've really gotten bitten by the travel bug. But
nibble.
I have lived in Louisiana my entire life, and so I'm really excited to be experiencing something new. And I think it's great that we'll be able to take our time with our camper and everything. Like, we get to travel a bit and actually figure out where we want to base ourselves without having to like really commit to something that we might end up not liking. So I'm just overall really excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's another great thing too. It's like we don't have to buy property everywhere. We can just go figure in. We don't have to try to figure out who's going to rent to 3 cats and a dog and whatever. So
And 2 lesbians, really.
I mean,
We're the troublemakers.
that's true. Anything's possible. So yeah. So yeah. All right. So that's kind of our main topic. We've still got 2 more segments we're going to quickly dive into here. So, some mini segments. We've got a segment we're calling the Pet Drama Report. V, do you want to take over this one for us?
I don't know if this is really a drama, but over the weekend, this was going to be my last chance to like really hang out with my family because I still have to work this week before we start on our adventuring. But so we went to go see my sister, and there was like a bit of a family get together, and Levi came with us, of course. He is the sweetest dog. Here's the thing about Levi: he's a rescue. And we knew that he was bouncing from family to family, so he's always like a little timid. He might not like people, he might not like other dogs, but he is excellent with cats and kids.
Yeah, and to be clear, he's like fine with other people. He's just not your typical like golden retriever, like affectionate kind of dog. And with other dogs, that's kind of hit or miss. He's gotten a lot better, but
Yeah.
like he's very sweet with cats and kids.
Yeah, and normally especially with people, sometimes we had to tell Levi, hey, hop down, don't lick their face. He was so gentle, so patient.
He was so cute.
And he was also a good sport because they were all kind of like touching his face, his tail, and his ears. And he was just letting them. And normally he gets a little snippy, like, hey, don't touch. But he sat there and like dealt with it all. And he was very sweet. And so my nieces, of course, fell in love with him. Everyone has, really.
Yeah.
But wanted to call out Levi for being such a sweet boy.
Yes, and I feel like that's a perfect, like, it's not really drama, but it's like perfect to set the scene. So as you get to know the critters and their different adventures and really get to understand their dynamic, understanding Levi is the oldest and the biggest brother,
But the biggest baby.
but also the biggest baby, but also he's just classic big brother, and yeah, he's really good at that. So that, yeah, sweet story there. And then for our last quick segment, we're going to do something with a random question of the week where we will just pick a question that's kind of related to things and get our take on it. So one of the ones that I picked out for this week is, what's the first thing you're excited to do about, like, what's the first thing you're excited about, like, when we get back into the camper?
Okay, what's it for you?
It's our bed for me. I did not think there was a difference between a double/full-size bed and a queen-size bed. Kind of thought they were all the same, but we've been staying with our friend this summer, and very thankful he's letting us stay with him in his guest room. He has a full-size bed, and I'm like, that's fine.
I knew it would not be, for the
It's
record.
very different than the queen-size bed I've become accustomed to. All animals sleep with us, which I know a lot of people think is kind of wild to start with, but Levi and the 3 cats, like, not all at the same time often, although sometimes, but definitely, at any given point throughout the night, we had 2 to 4 animals in the bed with us. So having that extra, I think we looked up the math, and it's like 6 extra inches. Size does matter, folks, when it comes to mattresses. So I'm super excited because we actually were able to keep our bed from home and put it in the camper and replace the like mattress that we had in there, which was fine, but like obviously ours is better. So very excited for that. How about you?
I also miss our mattress. I'm excited to be like in our own space. Like, I know we've mentioned that a lot, that our camper is like our home and our space that is just ours. And for the record, I love living with Brittany, of course, but with Lane, and he's been great. He's a friend that we've been staying with this summer. Shout out to you. But it's still like we're guests in a home.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited to be like, this is
Our
my
own
space.
spot. Yeah.
I don't feel like I have to be like, hey, is it okay for this? Like, I can just, veg out and do whatever.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's a great one. So, yeah. All right, folks. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Zoom and Zoomies. Next week, we're talking about pets and what it's like having 4 critters in one small space. So get excited for that. If you've got questions, topic ideas, or just want to say hi, send us an email to zoom@zoomies@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. You can also follow our chaos on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm going to post some links in the show notes, but you can also go to tr.ee/zoom and zoomies and get links to all of those channels and things. And if you liked hanging out with us today, it would mean the world to us if you would leave a rating wherever you listen to your podcast, or give a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I don't know, share this with others if you think they'd find it interesting. Yeah, any closing thoughts?
Make sure you follow the Instagram, because you will get more photos of the pets than you do us.
Absolutely, and that's really what matters and what everyone's here for.
They're the stars of the show. We're
They are.
really just
We're just the
hosting.
supporting characters, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time on Zoom and Zoomies.
Thanks, guys.